obviously it's not. The map will be played on Odyssey. That's a match that neither player is super familiar with, I think. Other than in the NASL, not many people are playing this map. But they played on it an entire season. We see some friendly banter going on between these two guys. Thorzain asking Thorzain basically saying that he was sad that Nightend was not a DreamHack, and Nightend was obviously sad about it as well.
Yes. He said, Nightend, are you still sick? And Nightend said, yes.
Yes.
That was a little Nightend cough.
That's pretty adorable. I would instantly make a famous home chicken soup bowl for him.
Oh, Nightend.
Even though I'm not a great cook, for Nightend, I do my best.
What are they talking about? Well, anyway. Should be a great game. These guys have a lot of history playing against each other as, you know, good Europeans. They meet in all the online events that take place. Although Thorzain hasn't been playing in as many online cups as maybe he once did.
Thorzain is kind of taking the moral road these days. Not really playing in that many tournaments anymore, but the ones he does play in, he likes to focus really a lot on. And something that you also see a player like Mana do. Like, how often do we see Mana still at Go for StarCraft 2s these days? Not all that often, but once he makes it to LN, he leaves quite the impression.
Yeah, getting his first ever championship this past weekend at DreamHack. Very impressive. Mana, a great player. We're both so proud of him.
Yeah.
How much time have we spent with Mana in Europe? Just kind of hanging out at different events and getting to know him. He's a really great guy.
He did win a minor in the international event back then in the LAN in France. He took second in the main event, but he won the median trophy, which was played on London, had some good players in it, like Hazelhoffs, Biggs, and a few others. I remember that because I mentioned it in one of the reports, but this was basically the first real big international victory for Mana. So I think the entire StarCraft 2 community was really happy for him.
And what a victory it was, beating Stefano, beating Hero, stopping that. Hero hadn't dropped a map throughout the entire tournament. And Mana takes him out, and then ultimately beating Damaga in the final. Revenge, perhaps, for the assembly loss that he took to Damaga once long ago. But of course, neither Mana nor Damaga are playing right now. This is Nightend versus Thorzain.
Yeah, so we see Thorzain going for a very quick expand, the no gas, fast expand build. No surprise there. We know the European Terrans love it, and of course Thorzain is still one of those. I did not agree with North America claiming him.
North America has claimed Thorzain?
Yes, of course.
I don't think we can do that. We can claim Violet, we can claim Stefano,
no,
but we can't claim Thorzain.
You guys, why can't you claim Stefano? That makes no sense.
Are you kidding me? Stefano is more American than macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's kind of Italian.
No, man, macaroni and cheese is so American.
Yeah, it's just like pizzas, right?
Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me?
We see the first Zealot from Nightend making his way over to the other side of the map, and Stalker is getting out pretty quick as well. And we don't see a bunker yet, but Thorzain has 3 Marines, and knowing Thorzain, you do not want to run your Zealot in there because we know that Thorzain can micro exceptionally well. So this bunker is most likely going to be up in time. And then I really like the opening a bit more for Thorzain, because right now he's going to have a much quicker expand. The bunker is going to be up. Nightend is going to try to make something happen with these 2 units, but it's not going to be possible. Then again, he does have a 5 worker lead, so he actually chrono boosted the Nexus more than I thought he did. So you could say it's sort of even.
Yep, Nightend just poking a little bit. Sees that bunker. Probably not going to make any sort of crazy commitment here. Wants to keep these 2 units alive. He is, of course, expanding back at home, and really no telling how he's going to choose to follow this up.
Most likely with 2 more gates and then a robo. We all know that Nightend loves to play very safe. I am kind of shocked, Ben, that we see a Nexus this quick.
It's not Nightend style.
I expected Colossus with thermal lengths before Nightend would drop the Nexus. No, that's just a running joke. Nightend loves to play super safe. You will never see him expand unless he actually knows that his opponent is expanding. We once casted a crazy game of Nightend on Terminus against the Zerg, where he was confused what the Zerg was doing, and he actually went thermal lens expand on Terminus. And
did he win that game?
No, he didn't.
No, okay.
But his 2-base push still looked scary. Okay. It came 4 minutes later than it should have came, but it looks scary. But in the main base ban of Thorzain, we see something that's very important. We see a reactor and a tag lab, but now he's actually going to reveal the fact that he has a Marauder, so Nightend knows what he's facing, and it is nice to see this Marauder as a Protoss player, because now you know, okay, I'm probably going to oh, he already has 2 sentries, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 1 sentry more, and then a few Zealots, because there could very well be a moment where Thorzain is really going to commit to an early push, wants to see if I played super greedy as Protoss player, but if you have enough Zealots and Force then you can really cut off that army.
Yeah, Thorzain just threatening that early stim push. Nightend doesn't know whether or not he's actually going to come or not. Forced to fall all the way back to his natural. Even warps in an extra sentry there, so spinning a little bit more gas maybe than he wanted to. But the row is now done. He's going to make that observer, and then he's just going to continue to tech up.
Ooh, quick Ghost Academy for Thorzain, and well, so we might actually see a 2-base Ghost push, and that's something that could work very well. But if Nightend would drop in the robotics facility immediately, not the robotics bay, of course, immediately, then he might be able to get a Colossus out in time. And if you only have one Colossus ban against any sort of Ghost push with a couple of Zealots against these Marauders, you're going to be more than just fine. But yeah, he is going to drop the robotics bay. So if he's going to put the pieces together and we see the Observer making his way to the other side of the map, I think this is not going to be all that bad for Nightend.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Nightend.
Even though this is a really quick Ghost push. If Thorzain goes with his first 2 Ghosts straight away, it's going to actually be close regarding the Colossus. Well, but if he drops some super defensive force fields, he might be able to save some time.
I wonder if he's even going to build an Immortal. He doesn't want to build that Immortal, right? He needs to keep that Robo idle until that Robotics Bay finishes so he can Chrono Boost out that Colossus. Ooh, actually Thorzain, I think, has spotted that Observer.
Yeah, and Nightend did not spot the Ghost Academy, and I can't blame him.
Oh, and he's not going to see the Ghost popping out either, is he? Oh dear, Nightend.
But he has another Observer in the middle of the map, and this one might sort of... He's going to spot the army, and he's going to see at least one Ghost right now. If he paid attention, SCV's coming as well. First Colossus is on the way. He's Chrono Boosting it out, but it's going to be close. I think he's going to need to drop some force fields before the Colossus is there. Even though, where are you going to force field here, man?
Where are the Ghosts? They need to come up and try to land those big EMPs. SCVs are actually in front. This might prompt the force fields a little bit early, and they do go down.
I love him. Ooh. So EMP hit quite a few Zealots, but he really needed to do that. He could actually renew these force fields. He had... Oh, there's going to be a small gap over here, but he needs the Colossus. He really, really needs his Colossus, and he's going to get time for the Colossus.
He's doing this perfectly, Kev. Yep. He's bought himself all the time he needs. The Colossus is going to pop out. Thermal Lance is far from complete, but I don't think it's going to matter because the Colossus just does so much damage.
Those Marauders, beautiful Foxfire right there by Thorzain.
Oh no, the Colossus takes so much damage and it falls, and Thorzain with the better control manages to pick off the Colossus, and immediately Nightend, GG's. He had done everything right up until that point, and just... I don't even think he missed microed. It's just Thorzain played it so perfectly.
It's not necessarily a point of missed microing. It's a little bit unfortunate. Thorzain, the Colossus obviously pops up on the high ground, and Thorzain immediately, not with his entire army, because sometimes you have these moments where Terran just runs in and the Zealots do a lot of damage. You know, he used like 2 or 3 Marauders with Stim to focus that Colossus, but that's really all you need, because Marauders deal so much damage on the Colossus. It makes no sense for your Marines to chase down a Colossus and try to shoot at it. And now I kind of wonder, because I felt that Nightend played this really quite well. The defensive force fields, I think, were good. Maybe even 1 or 2 additional sentries. He had a little bit of money when that push.
What if instead of the second Observer, he'd had the Immortal? Like, I know that skipping the second Observer means you're vulnerable to like a Banshee.
But he saw Marauders.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of unlikely that you're going to see a Banshee follow up. I don't think it would have been a bad choice. I think the second Immortal would have been good. But if it's a quicker stim push, the biggest problem is he didn't see the Ghost Academy. If he would have seen a Starport, then everything is different again. It's hard to put the pieces together when you don't have... or when you play without Fog of War.
It is really difficult. I mean,
so the players can talk about that.
one of the big difficulties of high-level StarCraft is just figuring out what the other guy is doing. There are so many different variations that Thorzain could have done there, and the one he picked is the one that was, I guess, most opportune.
One game away, man.
Yep, a single game separates Thorzain from the NASL Season 3 playoffs. That last one brought to you guys by Epson Projectors. We're going to play a very short commercial, and then when we get back, Thorzain versus Nightend, game number 2.